Then I asked him, though I do not like to commit sin, why I commit sin?
Okay.
Something is forcing me.
As Paul says.
Then one of my friend, who is also a Brahmin boy, and his father is a priest, and this boy told me, showed me from Gita, that Arjuna asking a question to Krishna, Atakena priyukto ayam pabam charati purusha, aniccha nabi varsanaya bhaladiva niyojita. I mean, the question is, oh, the saint of Varsani Gotra, though I do not like to commit sin, I am forced to commit sin.
Okay.
I find something in me. What is that?
Okay.
So Krishna answers him saying, Kama yesha, krodha yesha, rajoguna samudbhava. You are born in rajoguna sin.
You're born in sin?
In sin.
Okay.
So the kama and krodha which is in you, though you do not like to commit sin, it forces you to commit sin.
Okay.
This is the thing which makes me to stand away from me.
Okay.
So this is a very reasonable thing.
Paul says in the Word of God, I mean, the thing I don't want to do, I do it, and the things I want to do, I cannot.
Yeah.
So you're talking something.
Yeah, that is in Romans 7th chapter.
And
finally he say, what a wretched man I am.
Okay.
Who will deliver me? That's a beautiful question. Who will deliver me from this bondage?
All right.
See, he never said which will deliver me.
I say, who will deliver
who
me?
will? So you need a person. Even in one of the Siddha means the one who has knowledge about God.
I see.
In Tamil Nadu, there's a beautiful poem. When a thief is caught and tied to a post,
I see.
even he may confess that he will never do it again.
Okay.
He will cry. He may feel for it. Really, he may feel for it. This feeling and the tears will not make the ropes to fall down.
Right.
See, somebody has to come.
Yeah. Okay.
One who hears his real confession,
I see.
somebody should come forward to release him out of his own compassion. And also if the people ask, why do you are releasing? Why do you releasing? So he may take charge of that. I will be responsible for him.
Okay.
So he takes the responsibility and then unless he ties the rope, he cannot get released. Like that, a human soul is bound with ropes.
Okay.
So I may cry, Lord, I am a sinner, how to escape from this? This crying and the tears and my ambition and wish will not forgive me.
All right, okay.
Unless somebody comes and releases me.
Okay.
So in the Vedas, actually, they were expecting a God. They were expecting a God
in Vedas,
who will come down in this world to release from the bondage of sin. So I was gradually studying this and who is this God, and finally I have one priest advised me to become a student of Rig Veda.
I see.
And as I started studying Rig Veda, there's a beautiful portion in the 10th portion of Rig Veda. It is called Purusha Shukta. Purusha Shukta, the beginning first 5 songs are talking about the creation of the world.
Okay.
And the rest of the song says how God himself become the Redeemer for sinners by sacrificing his body.
I see, okay.
So in Ajurveda, there are a lot of things mentioned about animal sacrifices. In Samaveda, there is one portion. It is called Purusha Shukta. Purusha Shukta, the beginning first 5 songs are talking about the creation of the world.
Okay.
And the rest of the song says how God himself become the Redeemer for sinners by sacrificing his body.
I see, okay.
So in Ajurveda, there are a lot of things mentioned about animal sacrifices. In Samaveda, there is one portion called Tandiya Mahabrahmana, in which the saint says, Prajapatir Devapyaham Admanam Yagyam Krudava Prayachit. Prajapati. Pati means Lord, and Praja means people.
Yeah, okay.
So it is the Lord of the people who will take a form of human body to be offered as a sacrifice for the remission of sin.
Okay.
This actually, I asked my priest, my gurus and my elders and the leaders of the religion why we do not have a temple for Prajapati.
Okay.
We have a lot of temples for other gods and goddesses.
Oh, there's no Prajapati?
But there's no temple for Prajapati. Nobody is teaching about Prajapati. Nobody explained who this Prajapati. So this priest, he was a very learned man, and he told me in many areas, either from the Brahmanas or Agamas or even from Upanishads and Rig Veda, he quoted so many things which are very interesting.
Okay.
I have something written in my book. I have written all these things in a book.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And there are some beautiful points which I would like to
and this
tell
book is available
not only to you but also to the audience,
okay,
so that they can make a reference. Okay. See, there are many parallels. Religions are made only for good things. No religion teach go and steal, just go and beat somebody, don't go and
someone, yes,
do adultery. No religion. Okay. All religion is teaching only good things.
All right.
But the religion is not salvation. You can be a religious person, at the same time you can commit sin.
Okay, yes,
See?
that is
even in Christianity,
yes,
there are so many Christians who commit sin. What about gay marriages in foreign countries?
Oh.
The Christians.
Yes.
Is this allowed in the Bible?
No.
So many people after marriage they get divorced. Is this allowed in Bible?
No.
No. So they can be religionists, but at the same time they can be sinners. So religion is not the way for salvation.
Okay.
It's only the grace of God.
Amen.
So here in regarding the Purusha Prajapati, there's some saying in there's one Upanishad called Chandogya Upanishad. The very first chapter, and this chapter 6 says that Prajapati should be a sinless one. He's called Nishkalanga Purusha.
Okay.
He's a sinless one. And in Sadbada Brahmana, 13th chapter, it is written that Purusha sacrifice, the man is completely separated from other man.
Okay.
The sacrificial Prajapati should be separated for other man. To show the separation, they used to keep a wild creeper, the thorny creeper on the head of the Prajapati.
All right, crown of thorn.
That is in the Satpada Brahmana.
I see, okay.
Then again in the Purusha Sukta, Rig Veda, it is said, when the Devas want to sacrifice the Purusha, God the Father was silent.
Okay, all right.
And also in Aidriya Brahmana, chapter 2, sloka 16 says, that the sacrificial animal should be rejected by the parents, by the brothers and sisters and relatives and friends. Should be rejected.
All right.
And in Rig Veda, 5th chapter, 46 verse says that Purusha Prajapati is a silent sufferer.
Okay.
He will be silent.
Yeah, he'll be silent, not open his mouth.
And in the Sadbada Brahmana, it says that the sacrificial animal should be tied to the post.
All right.
See, it is called, have you seen in Hindu temples, there is always a post in front of the door, the main door. That's a post stand. Even today, every Hindu temple has a post.
Is a post?
Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as you enter the main gate, you see the post there. They say this post is used for flag hoisting. It's not for flag high. It is called Upastampa, in which the animals will be tied.
Oh, I see.
And the pujari will come and sanctify the animal. Then the animal will be taken to the altar to get it sacrificed.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So even
which temple you're talking about? I've seen other temple and I didn't see
in the Hindu temples, especially Shaiva temples.
Okay.
They still believe in animal sacrifices.
Oh, I see.
And even in India, even today in some villages and small towns, these animal sacrifices are being done. And I made a photograph of this animal sacrifice and put it in my website.
Okay.
So you can go through that and
All
find
right.
it. It's called agniministries.com.
agniministries.com.
All small letters.
All right.
And also it says in Aitreya Brahmana that the bones of the sacrificed Purusha should not be broken.
Wow.
That is in Aitreya Brahmana, chapter 2, verse 6.
You all, these are points toward pointing out to Jesus.
That's how
his bone was not broken. Crown of thorn you're talking about.
This was my great faith on those days.
I see.
I was searching who is the God? Who is the God who ever came and sacrificed his life for my sin? Because there are so many Purana stories and also some Itikasas like Mahabharata, Ramayana and Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
These are all called Itikasa. This is not Vedas.
Oh.
See, there are Vedas, there is Upanishads, Brahmanas, Agamas, Itikasas, and Purana stories.
Okay.
So you have to make it in order. Everything cannot be Veda. So Veda is called canon, Shruti.
How old the Vedas are?
Around 2000 to 2500 BC.
Oh, before Christ.
Yeah.
Before Christ.
Yeah.
2000. Okay.
And at that time it was not in written form because there was no paper to write or anything, material. But it was from the mouth of the guru to the disciple, and the disciple becomes a guru and he teaches to his disciple.
Oh, okay.
But only in the later centuries, that is after Jesus Christ, that's first century or second century, they started to write. So the Rig Veda Sanskrit was colloquial, but Bhagavad Gita is grammatical. Because Sanskrit knowledge developed in grammar.
I see.
And they modified the language into a very nice language.
All right.
So Sanskrit means corrected one or rectified one.
Okay.
So it has Pali, Attamagadi, so many languages are in that in Sanskrit.
Okay.
So, and also in Sadbhada Brahmana 5th chapter say, after the sacrifice, Praja Prajapati should come alive.
Okay.
And he will offer himself totally for the humankind.
Praise God.
And he ends, the Purusha Sukta ends with a beautiful text saying, means corrected one or rectified one.
Okay.
So it has Pali, Attamagadi, so many languages are in that in Sanskrit.
Okay.
So, and also in Sadbhada Brahmana 5th chapter say, after the sacrifice, Praja Prajapati should come alive.
Okay.
And he will offer himself totally for the humankind.
Praise God.
And he ends, the Purusha Sukta ends with a beautiful text saying, Nanyapanta ayanaya vidyate. That means this is the way, there is no other way. And
Jesus said the same thing. I'm the way, the truth and life.
Maybe, but later I found it. But in my earlier stage, not understanding Sanskrit, I memorized.
Okay.
I memorized and was following faithfully. I was very honest and sincere to my religion and to the priest. I was very ritual. And but after some time, when I grow older and older, I started asking questions. Who is this Prajapati? How can he forgive my sin? How can my good things save me? Cannot save me. Say I was behaving good.
Okay.
Nobody can find fault in me. But at the same time, I felt I was a sinner.
Okay.
Inwardly. I never did any wrong thing outwardly, but inwardly, by my thinking, I committed a lot of sins. So I felt that I was a sinner, and this is the cry of the people in Rig Veda. Say one Kausika Muni who wrote some portion in Rig Veda, he says, I am bound with a big rope, just like a calf is bounded with a big rope. Lord, release me from this bondage. This is the cry of the old saints.
Okay.
They felt they were sinners. They were rishis. They were saints.
Okay.
But they felt they were sinners.
Sinners, okay.
If the saints and rishis felt they were sinners, what about the common man?
All right.
They could not realize because they do not have any idea of God. So they were just living as animals.
I see, okay.
So sometimes when some people behave very brutally, what we call the brutes, that means animals.
Okay.
See, if somebody go and shoot people, oh, this is like just wild people or cannibals,
Brutal,
or what all names we use. So if man do not feel for his sin, he's just like an animal.
Okay.
So the soul is dead in him. That's why he cannot see God. He cannot realize what is good and evil. So he just simply follow their parents and their parents.
Okay.
So this is religion.
All right.
So I was faithful. I went to the temple. Though my father never had been to a temple, he was just like a rationalist after he left the white man.
Okay.
So I do not know what kind of religion my family belongs to.
Okay.
So then when I studied all these things, my enthusiasm was to know this Prajapati.
I see. Okay.
Who is this Prajapati? Without him, my sins cannot be forgiven.
So how you
when I was studying this, I asked questions and nobody explained me thoroughly.
Okay.
Nobody helped me to know who is this Prajapati.
Right.
So I became an atheist.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And for 3 years I was an atheist. But one day, one atheist leader was preaching. As soon as he came near the microphone, it started to rain. It was in an open area.
Okay.
So this man holding the microphone in his hand said, "Oh God, why it should rain now?" So the man who proclaimed there is no God,
No God.
without his knowledge, he said, "Oh God, why it should rain now?" So I thought, there must be God. There must be one God.
Yes.
Then I asked the leader, "Why do you proclaim that there is no God?"
Okay.
And he said, "There is God. That's why I am saying there is no God." And I couldn't understand him. Then if you believe that there is a God, why don't you accept it? And he said, "If I say there is God, the Jews say it is Jehovah. The Christians say it is Jesus Christ.
Okay.
The Muslims say it is Allah.
Okay.
And the Hindus in India say they have 3,033,000 gods and goddesses.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So why we should make a fight with each
I
other?
see.
Let us say there is no God, no
Okay.
religion."
All right. Okay.
So that was his conclusion.
Philosophy about that. Yes. Okay.
Then in Hinduism, only the people with their own philosophical mind invented so many philosophies. That's why you have so many gods and goddesses.
So this is all designed by man.
Man.
Developed by man.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
I must say that.
But because in the Rig Veda, you find in the beginning Agni, Vayu, Varuna, Indra. These are the prominent gods they were worshipping.
I see.
Where are they now? Why people do not worship Varuna today?
Oh.
They forgot all these 4 elements in the beginning. Now they have newly formed all the new gods.
Are these gods in the Vedas?
Which god?
The you're talking about Ganesh and
These
Ram,
are not
Shiva.
found in the Rig Veda. The Vedas you cannot find.
Oh, so how they came in existence?
This is what I say. The philosophical mind of people invented so many new philosophies, and every attribute of God was formed as a god. That's why we have numerous gods.
So, but people say, for example, there was I was in India. There was fighting going on among this temple and mosque about Ram Janam Bhoomi.
Yeah.
So, it means it existed Ram.
Actually, when actually this thing was progress in India before demolition,
I see.
many times the Muslim group and the Hindu groups, they used to sit together with some mediator and were talking how to solve this problem. And once the Imam of Islam, he asked a question to the Hindu group, if you prove that there was a person like Rama lived,
I see.
we will demolish the masjid with our own hands and give the place to you.
Okay.
He wanted them to prove historically. For that, Mr. Joshi, who was also a leader of the religion, he replied that they cannot prove, but it is their faith.
Oh. So there's no evidence for
There's
this
no
existence?
evidence.
So they call it Ram Janam Bhoomi.
They may call it, but they have to go deep into the Vedas in which they will not find it. See, suppose I believe that this table is God. It is my faith. Can you say no to that?
No.
Unless you make me to understand this is an ordinary wood,
Yes.
which is shaped and made like a life table,
Yeah, okay.
then if I understand, if I must have a willingness to
individual
understand.
thing.
So individually, we cannot condemn other faith. But if they are interested to know God,
Know the truth.
so being a religious person is something else.
I see.
But if you really want to know God to save your soul, then you have to go for research and search for.
Okay. All right.
See, every person has given knowledge and wisdom to understand God.
Okay.
Whether we have to make use of that. If I refuse, no, I cannot do that. I will only follow what my forefathers were doing. If they say they will do only their forefathers were doing, why do they come to Canada? Why do they put on suit?
Okay.
Why they put on, they make themselves like a Canadian woman,
All right.
Canadian man?
Yes. Okay.
They cannot do that. They cannot follow their ancestors. Their ancestors never traveled in aeroplane. They walked. And they walk nowadays.
Yeah, okay.
So things are changing.
So,
the
but
culture
thing
is changing.
I see that Mahabharata and Ramayana, they all we see their dramas and everything.
Yeah, but because on those days,
people worship them as a
only
god.
the Pandits, the Brahmin priests, they know the Veda. They studied the Veda.
I see.
And the forbidden other people like Kshatriya, Vaisya, Sudra, or Panchama, they were not allowed to study Vedas.
Okay.
Only sometimes the Kshatriyas were also allowed because the Brahmins needed the help of the Kshatriyas. They are warriors.
Okay.
So they need that. So they allowed some of the Kshatriyas also to study Vedas. But they were never allowed to become priests. You know all the Vedas by memory.
I see.
You cannot become a priest unless you are born in a Brahmin family or a Pandit.
Oh, okay.
So
you're talking about Brahmin, the born in Brahmin family. Okay.
Yeah.
What about this? They call it Punarjanama and 84 lakhs.
So, I will tell you about this Mahabharata.
Okay, yeah,
Rama,
Mahabharata,
see. This comes under the category of Upanishad, not even Upanishad. They are called the what you call Itikasas. Itikasa means great parable.
Oh, parable.
A big parable.
I see.
It's a story. See, there must be some foundation. In the Vedic period, they say this happened even before some 5,000 or 6,000 years before Jesus Christ.
I see.
It should be mentioned in the Vedas.
Okay.
Such a big story.
Yeah.
They admired it. But nothing of this is found in the Vedas.
Oh.
If they believe Vedas are
very
true,
strange.
and if these things happened during the Vedic period,
Uh-huh.
why they have failed to mention about this Mahabharata war and everything in the Vedas? It only comes under the canon of Smriti, that's what we believe. So, but there must be some foundation.
I see.
See, India is a country, that time it was not India, it was called Sindhu Valley.
Okay.
Sindhu Valley.
Sindhu Valley.
Sindhu Valley extended from Afghanistan up to Burma, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, all these small islands.
Okay.
This is called
India.
Sindhu
Okay,
Valley.
okay.
So the Persians and the Arabians and Jews and Egyptians were living in the Middle East.
Okay.
And Kabul is the headquarters for Indus Valley.
Indus Valley.
Sindhu Valley.
Okay, Sindhu.
So the Persians were the first group to enter into through the Khyber and Bolan Pass
I see.
to Sindhu Valley.
Okay.
And the Persians should not have the alphabet C. They cannot say Sindhu.
Oh, okay.
But they had only He.
I see.
So they called it Hindu Valley. So Sindhu Valley.
Persians
changed
into Hindu.
Changed into Hindu Valley.
Okay.
Hindu does not mean a religion on those days. It was the name of the country.
Oh, but they, today we see it's a Hinduism.
Now, when they called it Hindu Valley, then after some time, the Arabians came.
Okay.
Who became Muslims.
Okay.
And they called it Hindustan.
Okay.
Then later period, and the Portuguese and the French people came to India. They grabbed some places. And they called Indies.
Okay.
Even today, if you go to Germany and all the European countries, they call Indi, not India. They call Indies.
Yes, Indies.
So we have West Indies,
yes.
Indies, and East Indies.
Okay. Yeah.
So this Indies, when the European, the English people came, they started to grab one state after another. Okay. India was about 85 countries on those days. It was not one country.
Oh, huge.
So they started to grab one after another. Finally, they brought every country under their control and named it All India. Even today, when the English news is read in India, they say this is All India Radio.
That's right.
Even in the Indian Constitution, it is under All India.
Okay.
So India means it is not one country. Even in the Bible, when it says from India to Ethiopia, King Xerxes was ruling 127 countries.
Okay.
So how big it was then at those times? Even before 1947, you must see the picture of India.
Yeah. Okay.
When the English people liberated, gave independence to India, they gave independence to all the other states. Say Malaysia was separated, Burma was separated, Sri Lanka was separated, Afghanistan was separated, Pakistan separated. Now we have only a small India.
Small India, I see.
But that time it was a very big. So even that, when they say people who lived in India, they developed gradually one after another. The Jews came, the Babylonians came, and the Egyptians came. The Jews were proclaiming only one God. Okay. The Babylonians worshipped idols and the Egyptians worshipped idols. They all brought their faith into India. That time India was an animist country. nature worship, hero worship. There was no religion at all.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So when these people came, somebody followed Egyptians, somebody followed Jews, somebody followed. So there was multiple colors started to form.
Okay.
And gradually they started sacrifice. The Jews started sacrificing animals for the remission of sin, according to the Old Testament.
Old Testament.
Indian people also followed some of their faith. And some Mahavir, he was a great Dravidian, and he raised up and said, why do you kill animals in the name of God? Let us not believe in God. Let us not kill any animal.
I see.
That teaching was followed by a group of people which was called Jainism.
Jainism, yes. Okay.
So he was the leader for that.
I see. Mahavir. Yeah, okay.
And Siddhartha, who was living in Nepal, that time there was no Hindu religion.
I see.
He was following the animist religion. So some thoughts from other people who entered into India. We cannot say it was a Hindu religion. So Siddhartha came out of the palace and found this old age man and death and all these things. He was frustrated, and he left his palace and searching for the truth.
Okay.
And he followed the teaching of this Mahavir.
Okay.
And when he started to preach, adding some of his findings, because he was a prince, all the kings invited him to their courts and asked him to say what he feels in his heart. And mostly the North Indian soil became a Buddhist country. So even before the birth of Jesus Christ, India, except the southernmost part, Tamil Chera Chola Pandya kingdom, India was a Buddhist country.
Before Christ?
Yes.
Okay.
For 600 years, there was Buddhists who ruled India. And for 800 years, the Muslims ruled India. These are all historical facts. We cannot say, we cannot deny that. So during Buddhist rule, they abolished all animal sacrifices.
Okay.
So this is the thing where these people, the pandits who have no place to live, because they lived only on sacrificing animals. And now they have no place to stand with. So their craftiness and cunningness, they started to split the Buddhist religion. They split the Jainist religion as two sects like. And the Jainism was split, and Buddhism was split. Buddhism was split as Mahayana and Hinayana, and Dihambara and Nikambara in Jainism. So when they split a religion, it was easy for them to go in. So gradually they chased out all the religious leaders out of India. Now Buddhism was born in India. It was a ruling kingdom in India. Where is Buddhism today? It all went eastwardly. Because of these people chased them out. And then what they left with this, you asked about Punarjanma. See, the faith of the Buddhists is Punarjanma, because they didn't believe in God. See, suppose if I ask somebody, what will happen to your soul after death? If he believes in God, he will say, God will find a remedy for my soul. But these Buddhists never believed in God. They never preached about God. Buddha never told that he is a God incarnation. It is only these people made him an incarnation. And they have to say some answer. What they said, when a person dies, he has to take another birth. So what he does in this life will be accumulated for his other life. And that what he does in that life will be continued for his other life. And like that it has to go on and on. Then how many births we have to take? So Punarjanma is a philosophy. So suppose if I suffer with tuberculosis, if it is my janma, it is because of my janma, why I should go to hospital? I should die. I should accept the janma, the karma. See? Suppose if you lose one of your legs, if it is your karma, then you have to live with one leg. Why do you go and make an artificial leg? You want to break the karma. So why should Vivekananda or Paramahamsa, all these people started doing something good in the religion? Did they want to abolish karma? See, karma is stamped on the fate is stamped on everybody's head because of the craftiness of these Brahmin people. So they took something from the Buddhist religion and mixed with their philosophy.